Hi, love you guys. Welcome to Chess Saga channel. Today we are going to see a very good game from the FIDEchess.com Grand Swiss tournament. And yesterday we saw a player Predicts Alexander. If you missed to see that fantastic game, link on the description. You can check and you can see the fantastic queen sacrifice on that game. So today we are going to see Firoza Alireza, very famous player. He is world number 7 before joining this tournament, but now he moved to world number 6, guys. It is very happy news for the Alireza fans. So it is very exciting how he is moving to 7th to 6th, from 6th place. Anis Giri went to 7th, so it is so sad for him. But okay, just in chess, always it happens. So one get up and one get down. So don't worry about that. And we are going to see the fantastic games. I already know Ayasa is a very good attacking player, but he showed a tricky game today. In my point of view, attacking player always know how to trick their opponent. So today, how Alireza tricked his opponent Alexandro. Let's see. Let's not further waste of time. Let's go to see the game. In this game, white was played by Alireza. He went for e4. Black opened with e5. So knight f3, knight c6, bishop to b5. So it is already Rilopus on the board, guys. Now the standard move a6, bishop to a4, knight f6, double bishop e7. So you have to save this pawn. You can't capture this pawn because a rook will come and threaten the knight, and it will attack this pawn and give the check. So you have to avoid the check, and it is closed system in Trilopus. Let's see how he is going to continue. In white point of view, rook e1 supporting this pawn because it is hanging, and centralizing this rook on e file. After this, b5 was played, bishop to b3, d6, c3, double h3. So avoiding pinning of this knight to this queen, and rook e8 was played. In this game, white can continue with knight to g5, but the thing, he already know a lot of the theories about this game, so how he's going to continue. It is a very basic level learning. If you are not a Rilopus player, just know something about Rilopus. In this basic setup, bishop will go like here. It will come to c2 by moving the c3 pawn, and this knight will go to like this square and this f pawn, and then go to g3 or e3 and attacking as well. So it is a very basic module for Trilopus. So in this position, white went for d4, directly attacking the center. Black played bishop to b7. There is also another way to continue the game, is knight to a5, but already bishop has the nice square on c2, and if we go to that square, and knight will be on a corner square. It is not very active on that a5 square that much, but it is still playable. Let's see, after bishop b7, knight bd2 was played, and now the same idea is going to happen, but in this variations, Alireza went for different kind of strategy. Let's see one by one. Black played bishop to f8, a3 was played. It is not at all a very rare line, but it is not appearing on a high level chess, because nowadays all players are intends to play like a4, attacking this pawn structure, and give attacks on queen sides. So let's see how a3 is going to work on Alexander. After a3, h6 was played, bishop c2, knight to b8. So it is the normal moves, guys. In this opening, this knight has two maneuver. One is knight a5, and another one is knight b8, as it will go back and come by d7 square. So there are two ways to go, but in this game Alexander chose to play a knight to b8. Firoza went for b3 and knight bd7, bishop b2, Look guys, this bishop is already in bad position, I think so, but it is not at all a very bad position. He is going to open up these 2 pawns, and he has to activate this bishop, because this bishop is now in the good diagonal to attack the king. Rook b8 was played. After rook b8, white now played rook to b1. From this position onwards, it is completely new game, guys. This move is already not played by any players. So let's see how Alireza are going to continue this game. After rook to b1, g6 was played. Bishop d3 was played. So slow by slow, Alireza developing his pieces to a good structure in order to launch an attack. c6. So they are maintaining pressure on both sides. So let's see how they are going to play this position. After c6, queen c2 was played. Then knight h5. Knight plan is to come to f4 square. Nice outpost for the knight. So in this position, Firuza went for bishop to f1. So it is very tactical idea. Now this bishop is now defending these pawns, and if knight comes to this square, it won't do much on this squares. So bishop is already in total control. So the bishop to f1 is a nice maneuver, and knight g7 was played. So now knight don't have the good squares on a h5 square, so he went for a knight to g7, and his main idea is to come to this square also, to attacking this square, and maybe later they will play like this structure. It is up to their players. Now what happened is d into e5 was played. So after d into e5 was played. c4. See guys, he is started to clear up the way for his bishop on b2. Let's see how he is going to trick his opponent and to attack this pawn on e5. So after c4, rook c8 was played. After before rook c8, now you can see the bishop is in good form, and knight is also okay. Knight is also okay, but look at the pieces in black camp. This bishop is doing nothing, and this bishop is okay, but it is defending king side. That's okay. Knight is okay, and this knight is okay. Sorry, this is knight. But this bishop is not at all okay. Let's see how he is going to continue this game. And after rook c8, Firuza went for rook b2 d1. It is usual basic rule, guys. If you are an intermediate or beginner or advanced players, no matter, you have to move your rook to the open file, and take control of the open file with your rook, and you have to develop another rook on the same file, and get control of that open file as soon as possible. So in this position, now the rook not only come to the open file, it is also threatening for queen on a d8. So in this position, Alexander went for a queen to e7 square. After then c5 was played. Now see guys, now the tricky move is happening. It is very tricky. You can see right, this pawn is hanging. Now Firuza played this move in order to give up this pawn or what. If you don't know about what is trick in this position, let me have this analyzation. If black intends to take this pawn with this queen, what happen is knight will come to this square, guys. So this is the main engine move, but it is possible for you to see, right? This knight move, now he is hanging his knight on c4, but look at this, guys. Anytime you have to look not only the pieces moves, and if the pieces moves, what are the pieces is going to open or not. You have to see that after knight moves, this rook get activated. This rook is nicely attacking this knight, and it only not only attacking this knight, and it attack this knight, and eventually it will also attack this bishop also. So this move is really tricky move, right? That's why you can't capture this pawn with your this queen. So in this position, the only move is knight captures this pawn. After this move, what happened is Firouzja went for knight into e5. Now you can see, right, this knight already moved to this square, and this defender on this e5 square is not here. So Alireza captured his pawn back. After this, Alexander went for knight d7, again intends to exchange this knight, but Alireza again tricked his opponent, like same move, knight to dc4. So in this position, you can't even capture this knight with this pawn, because again it is threatening for taking this knight on d7. So it is very problem for him. So in this position, Alexander went from knight into e5. So after knight into e5, he captured this knight with the another knight into e5. Rook e d8 was played. In this position, you can see he wants to exchange all those pieces and want to play with minor pieces. So after rook e to d8, queen c3 was played. Now see guys, this bishop is now very active on this diagonal. Not only this bishop, and this queen also helping him attacking the king side very much easily. So if anything wrongly moved, it will always threaten for giving checkmate. Presently this knight is supported by this bishop, but let's see how long will it support this knight and how long will it take. If you move this knight, and this square will be target, so there are a lot of problems already in the board. So let's see. In this position, after queen c3, h5 was played. So the main thing is it is now controlling this g5 square for this knight, because the problem is, if you allow this knight to come to this square, and it will also threaten like giving check on the f6 square. So it is very problematic position. So that's why Alexander went for h5. After h5, rook into d8 was played, queen into d8, rook e3 was played. See guys, you can't move your rook straightly to the d1 square, because the queen is already controlling this box. So in this position, Alireza went for rook to e3 square, but now this rook is very active guys. You can see, right, this rook can move to this open file also, but it also can move to this square and this square. The all squares are very much needed. Now this rook is very active piece when compared to this rook on a black camp. Let's see. After rook e3, rook c7 was played, rook d3. So attacking the queen, queen e7 was played, queen d2. So somehow now the rook and the queen are in the open file, and now this file is totally controlled by the white. So after queen d2, bishop c8 was played. Finally, black wants to develop his light square bishop. After bishop to f8, f4 was played, c5 was played, and rook f3. In this position, black went for a knight to e6. Now this knight is looking for this wonderful square on d4. It is basically a small outpost for the knight. So in this position, you can think like pushing this pawn, attacking this knight, but it is not working guys, because if you attack this knight, and this knight will go for this, you have to capture this knight back, because this knight not only the come to nice square, it also cut out this bishop support to this knight, and if you capture this knight with your bishop, he will cut this bishop with c into d4, and if you capture this pawn, and you already lose a piece by playing bishop to g7, and now you can see this bishop get activated, and it also not activated, but it also threatening to take this knight back. So this is very much problem. So that's why he don't go for a pawn push, but instead he go for a a4. The always top players are playing like they using their moves, avoiding all those difficult line, and they already saw all those variations guys. So in this position, black played knight to d4. Now what happened is bishop into d4, pawn into d4, then a into b5, a into b5, bishop into b5. now you can see, right, this bishop is activated, this knight is very actively placed, and this rook is also very activated. But when compared to this rook is not that much good, but okay, eventually it will become nice rook. Let's see how he is going to play. After bishop into b5, queen b4 was played. Make sure this queen get exchanged. After queen get exchanged, bishop develop to this b4 square, bishop to c4, blocking this line for this rook. So it not only the blocking the line, it also threatening to capture the pawn on f7. In this position, king g7 was played, unpinning this pawn on f7. After this, Alireza went for rook to f2. He can go for rook to f1, but the problem is after bishop comes to this square, and this square will be taken, rook can't come to the open file. That's why Alireza went for rook f2. Now the basic idea is he want to go for this open file by playing rook a2. But the thing is, Alexander know this and played rook a7. The problem in this position is, can you guess it, guys? Knight to c6. Now forking this rook and this bishop. If rook comes to this square, and he can capture this bishop, and rook will get the open file. But in this position, Alexander thought he can give that check on a1 square. But the thing is, after rook to f1, he has to exchange this piece because his pieces is already hanging. So rook get exchanged, like rook into f1, king into f1. So bishop d2 was played. So attacking this pawn, now there is no time for white to save this pawn, because if you save this pawn by playing the g3, you also lose this pawn on h3. That's why in this position, Alireza went for a good move, that is king to e2. After bishop into f4, king comes to d3 square. Now this pawn get threatened. After bishop to d7, attacking this knight into d4 was played. g5, king c3. Now the big advantage for white position is he has the nice pauser pawn on a b3 square. Let's see how he is going to pause this pawn. After king c3, bishop e5 was played, so pinning this knight. Look, guys, now the king can't move to this b4 and come to this square and make this pawn to pause easily, because this knight is pinned. But the good player always has a good squares, right? So in this position, what white played is bishop to e2, not only the attacking this pawn and also allowing king to move to c4 square. So after bishop e2, g4 was played. So after h into g4, king c4 was played. So black continued with king f6, king d5, attacking this bishop, and now bishop c8 was played. After bishop c8, the main idea is to giving check. Alireza don't even consider about this check, and he went for a winning, that is b4. He want to pass this pawn. After bishop b7, he broke this check with this knight, and g3 was played, so taming this pawn to move further. And after g3, b5 was played. After b5, bishop c7 was played, so bishop c7, king c5, not allowing this bishop to giving any check or come to block this pawn to b6. So after king c5, king g5 was played. So now the king is get to this position like this, and eventually he capture and make this pawn to passer. Let's see, but it takes a lot of moves to achieve. After king g5, e5 was played. He don't even allow this bishop to support this pawn anymore. After e5, king f4 was played, so attacking this pawn. Alireza moved bishop to f3. So now this bishop can't capture this pawn on e5, because it is also a very tricky position, guys. If you thought this pawn is hanging, it is actually not hanging. Now if you capture this pawn by playing bishop into e5, knight can capture the e5 bishop, and if you capture this knight, bishop will capture this bishop. If you capture this piece with the bishop, down, knight will capture this bishop. So anyway, this pawn is secured right now. So after bishop f3, king e3 was played, b6, attacking this bishop, bishop to b8, knight into b8. The thing is, after knight captures, so the black main idea is to capture this bishop. If you recapture this pawn, and this pawn will become queen within 2 steps. So Alireza don't this bishop. Instead, he played the very fantastic move, that is knight c6, blocking this bishop line. It is only piece restrict this pawn to move to b7 square. After knight c6, bishop into g2 was played. Then b7, bishop e4. Now pawn get into b8 square and become the queen. After b8 queen, black continue with g2. So the last tricky idea is playing queen to b2. Finished, guys. After the queen b2, black resigned the game, because now you can't take the queen, because if you take the queen, pawn comes to g1 square and become the queen. The problem is queen to d4 check, and you will lose the queen and you will lose the game very soon. That's why he resigned the game. Anyway, this is a very good game, I think so. So if you like the game, give like to this video and comment below what are the suggestions you are giving to me. I will try to recorrect myself. So thank you for seeing all the games, and don't forget to miss the game Predict Alexander that yesterday was played. This is a very fantastic game. I posted on yesterday. Thank you.